We all like a little bit of technology. It can use to add value to our life, our existence. Like, for example, this cell phone. It's a nice tool to have. You can create and you can do these selfies and all this stuff. So it's a useful tool. But when it become too much, if you remember way back when we had these stores, we can go and pay your phone bill and your cables and that. It's just the interaction with the technology outlets and human human connections. When you go and if you remember, you never see anyone is extremely happy to go there. It's really difficult to even crack a smile. Everyone seems to be so frustrated with everything and not happy. Can't stand the high cost of these equipments and always really stress about it. I remember that very clearly. Every time I go there, I'm not a very happy person to have these interactions. But we can learn something from this. We hear something about everything in moderation, which is true for the technology as well, because it is like giving up your clean energy to get something a little bit more complicated. Anyway, instead of bad mouthing technology, we have to understand this concept of divide and conquer. We have division among people, and most of the time, the more technology that we have, we are able to create more division. But technology is supposed to connect people. This is the useful tool for you can enhance your health and well-being by using technology and improve your connection. But when it becomes too much of it, you get disconnected. And then everyone have an actual program about we need to have a technology detox. We need to have a real connections. We go through all these things in circle. Now, a division among people, something that it never makes sense to me, especially when you hear this from a mainstream media about the racism, about discrimination, all of these things. It's really hard to comprehend because every day people have the same struggles, regardless of what is your background. But we keep repetitive conversation going on about these kind of division and separation among human species. But there is a higher up. We say there's a government who create this perfect environment for people to become hostile, if that's the case. The wars happening in the background and the poor health happening in the background, economic divisions happening in the background. On top of that, you add your race or your color of your skin, which is the most juvenile thing you can ever hear. Because now you are a perfect human being in a perfect healthy condition. You are programmed to believe that you are less than, or you're not worthy, or you are different. Maybe so, because of all these roadblocks that call cultures or religion or economic. These are there. So I guess this is normal for us to think about this level of division. But when you think about in-depth, more meaningful manner, the division really happens within your families, within your communities. We are sort of disconnecting from each other, um, because we are seeking something different. We are looking for the financial prosperity, so therefore we are making excuses that we are better off than another. Now, self-worth and the financial prosperity is same thing, but it's different. You can become financially prosperous and have a low self-esteem or lack of self-worth. I think that's the bigger problem. Now, when we talk about the ruling stations, the government, no one is really taking accountability for anything. So then people had to run around circles and seeking things and conspiracy theories and all sorts of areas that we have to look into, because things that's on the surface is not making sense. I mean, the economy is just it seemed like a bigger cancer than anything. They're constantly talking about the economic problems, but these lot have created these economic systems, and they're asking for me or the sheeples to fix the problems, which we are already paying very handsomely. So could it be possible they don't know what the hell they're doing? All these specialists and the economic specialists and from different fancy educational places, they are running the show. Yet they cannot balance anything. They cannot, it's not enough. The roof is falling apart, and yeah, fine. So then let it be, because clearly you have mismanaged your finances, and don't come crying to us, or me, or human beings to fix these problems because you're incompetence. This is your very basic common sense observation and opinion. But they're saying that there's a shadow government. There's somebody else who's calling shots. I mean, it has to be, because things on the surface is not making any sense. Although it seems like we are elected, but it's selected, but it doesn't make any sense. They're getting disengaged with from people, making decisions that's not making sense to people. Their whole idea of accomplishments of anything is just coming and going with a briefcase. Well, it's nothing get resolved and create more problems. This is always a problem, and it's a common sense observation. You can be from another part of the world, you can live here, it doesn't matter. These are common sense observation. It's kind of when it comes to a point where when you hear these entities, your gag reflexes get activated, it's not a good sign. We know people sit home and keep changing the channels continuously because it's not serving any purpose anymore. Yet people just really don't know there's an option to just turn it off completely and do something else, maybe more pleasant. Maybe that's going to give you a little bit of comfort and healing. But we have a population of in our community, our countries, that they don't even know there's an option to disconnect. That is a problematic. But when you hear these shadow governments, now, do you think it's making any sense if you are shadow government, if you are crocodile, you're reptile, you're shape-shifting? We don't know. We really don't know anything. Nobody ever seen it. The conspiracy theory has to go keep digging and digging stuff, and then they come up with these ideas. But isn't it really odd that we have to be separated and races or disconnected from each other because of shadow government is running the show. That is the most saddest thing ever for human beings. The shadow government is, there's no face, there's no voice. They got a group of people, maybe they got caught their pants down or something, and they're getting used to promote propaganda or come up with the systems that's going to create enormous level of limitations for the human species. And their shadow government, there's no face. So then what happens if you're a brown or black person or somebody that is a perfectly fine human beings, but we are getting disconnected because of skin color or religion or anything, but because of the shadow government that doesn't have a face and doesn't have the courage to come forward and become the face of the show. And this is where we're at. This is why the collective consciousness is super important, and the human species need to get together and ignore the separation and all the agendas and Trump hating agendas. Well, we would be really happy if you are able to go clean up your home and kitchen and have a nice meal and maybe go for a drive somewhere. Then it doesn't become so juvenile and laughable, because look around you, because we want everyone to live their best life. This is the goal, right? We want people to be liberated and able to make their own decisions regarding their life. And so then we are not taken as a comedians and calling us useless eaters, right? When we are sitting there standing and protesting for these agendas about somebody's body, somebody's mind, somebody's political views, this is the comedy hour, right? Because we can be rational enough to say that none of these things matter. We need to be united for a cause, for the collective consciousness, for the human species. None of these other things matter anymore.